Good afternoon, good evening, how you doing? It's Jonathan Gates here on the Cornerstone Live. This is a live show. We need funding for our show. As you see, they repossess our tables from Renter Center. We need to get... If you watch the show all the time, you know we have a little table here, but they don't have it here now. So we have a good show today. We have a great show today, talking about one of the most important topics I think that is going on in society. Well, let's introduce ourselves. I am one of your hosts. I am Jonathan Gates, along with my co-host,
B. Styles.
Lively.
And of course, we're joined today by Deputy Superintendent
Randall Halstead.
Randall?
Randy.
Randy. I was about to say, what you know when you know somebody a lot, I'm like, what's their name? Okay. So today, it's a good show, but it's a sad show. Write this number down, 617-708-3280, 617-708-3280. We're going to talk about street violence in the inner city of Boston. What should be done, what is being done, who's to blame. And we're going to look at it differently because here's what I do know. And I make a reference to this, and I'm going to go back to my co-host. I said, the black people in this community treat the police like God. They don't call on them until they need them. Mm-hmm. You know, they don't call, or they don't want to talk to them until somebody breaks in their house. They don't want to talk to them unless something happens to their family members. Mm-hmm. But they're the first to criticize. How do you think, B, you're a little older than Live, so I want to go to you first. And then we're going to go back to our guests. Where do you think, and how do you think we got to this point in time that we're so distant from our police?
You know, I think just historically in our community, just the relationship between blacks and black police officers and officers in the community has never been a great relationship in and of itself. So I think just, you know, movies influence the way people think. Actual real events that have taken place influence the way people think. The music influences the way people think. So when things happen in real life that you may have heard on a song or that you may have seen in a movie or whatever, it's harder because now life is really imitating the art and art is imitating life. So there's really no refuge from it. And I'm not saying that, you know, that the opinions that people have in our community are correct all the time. Because I know that there are great police officers out there and there are some bad police officers out there. Just like we got some good neighbors and we got some bad neighbors. You know, just like we got good family members and we got some bad family members. So, you know, there's good and bad on both sides. And I think that it's just easier for us in the community sometimes to point out all that's bad with the police instead of really recognizing what they're really there to do.
Okay, before I go to you, Live, you want to address some of this?
Well, I would address it this way. All right, being a police officer, I've been a police officer for 33 years in the city of Boston. Most of the time here in Area B. Except for the 5 years I worked as a detective in the homicide unit and the 5 years that I worked as a sergeant detective in creating the crime scene response unit. Some of what you say, yes, it is shaped by music, misconceptions, interactions that they've had with police officers. To a degree, yes, I can agree with that. But on the other side of that, there are times when I've been out doing a detail, and I've had people walk up to me and just stand there and they stare at me. And you know, you get a little uncomfortable, and I said, well, can I help you? He goes, you don't remember me, do you? And you look kind of familiar, but can you refresh my memory? He says, you saved my life. And I said, well, what was it? I responded to you. I said, no, you arrested me, you sent me to jail, and while I was there, I was starting to think, and I saw the light, and I turned my life around. So, I mean, it could go both ways. It really can go both ways.
Let me ask you, as a human, as a black man, when this black man walked up to you and said this to you, how did it make you feel inside you as a black man who's trying to do, I think, one of the hardest jobs in our community, next to school teachers?
All right, well, with him coming up to me and saying that,
right.
First thing that does, the police officer kicks in. You know, am I going to have to fight with this person? Well, I mean, no, just, you know.
Back up, boy! You don't know.
Yeah, you'd be a little more subtle in that. But right. I mean, the first thing you think of is, you know, you kick in survival mode. I mean, that's just the way we're trained. I mean, when I came into police academy, one of the first things they said is that we're going to train you to think not like a civilian anymore. And we all sat there and we laughed. And as time goes on, and as I got out into the street, you start to see things. You start to see things from, not from the perspective of a civilian, but you're looking at it from the perspective of, if this happens, what do I have to do? To save this person, what do I have to do? Looking at the whole situation, how can I diffuse the situation before it blows up? And yeah, okay, when I first looked at it, the first thing I thought of as a police officer, but then when he said that, then I started relating to him. I go into my civilian mode, and I wanted to relate to him as one black man to another black man. And when he said that to me, I mean, first of all, it shocked me. Well, I'm gonna say, well, I shouldn't say it shocked me. I was happy that he saw it in that light, and he was able to process it to the fact that he didn't see me as an adversary.
Well, he saw the light after he was in jail, but I guarantee you, when you grabbed him, he wasn't happy. So before we get more into this, and we got that part, I want to make sure we do about the human part of it. I heard there were more stabbings today, and we got to really dwell into what's going on in society. That there is no. What did you say, B? You said we are now at a level of accepted ignorance.
Oh, yeah, we have an acceptable level of ignorance that we tolerate in the community.
Okay, there it is. We're gonna leave it right there, but take this number down, 617-708-3280. We're here live with Deputy Superintendent Halstead. Call us up with any question, any comments. This show is all about let's make a difference. We're not here to point fingers. We're here to change something. I don't care what we do, we're gonna try. So we'll be right back right after this PSA.
Looking for that right cut, or you just don't want to push it back a little, or maybe it's that you just want a dependable time to come in, get in, and get out. For the right price, I can make your title. Visit my page at www.barbertime.com/Davis or call 617-593-0204 to see how I get down.
What's up? This is Lively. We're back on the Cornerstone Live with Deputy Superintendent Deputy Halstead. He's talking to us here about some of the things that have been happening in the community.